Be good. Be very good.
I am trying. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is I have a guest on the show, and that is the QR code for the book. Let me tell you something. This book, it hit me. When I saw this book, it hit me, and I want to thank my guest, Johnny Baker, for being on the show. But let me tell you, Johnny, before anything, let me give you the rundown. Let me give you the rundown. You ready for this?
I'm
Okay.
ready. Got it.
Now, Johnny, you hit me. You hit me good. Because I don't go to church anymore. The reason I go, and now most people are probably going to criticize me. I do study my Bible. Devout and all that good stuff. You'll never see me with my boobies out. That's not going to happen. But let me tell you what happened. I left a particular congregation. And it was a while before, I kind of inquired with a friend of mine, hey, so how's everybody doing over there? Oh, girl, you don't know what happened. I said, what happened? Well, the pastor's wife caught up with a girl in their own bedroom, in their own bed, in their house. And it was the girl that they had helped and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, no. And they divorced and the custody battles and all this stuff. And I was like, that's a mess. And when you came on this show today talking about sex in the church, darling, that just hit it home for me. I want to welcome you, Johnny, to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
So thank you for having me.
Now, I have to ask you, I did not experience this firsthand. This was stories that came back to me from various members of the congregation, and they're all the same story. All the same story. So obviously it checks out. Nobody told me a penny was a penny, and then by the time I got to the end of the person, it was 10 cents. No, it was the same. So I want to find out from you, what and why did you write this book?
Kind of like you said, I also had a tragedy in my life in the church.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
Many pastors are leading, but they're bleeding.
mm.
I went through this time period where um, I was the only one that didn't know something was going on in my own church.
Come on. I had
And
no
it,
idea either.
yeah,
Oh, come on now.
yeah, and it affected
Wow.
me. So when God told me to write this book, it was kind of like a healing process for me as
Mm,
well. But there is hurt in the church, and you haven't been hurt till you've been hurt in the church
yeah.
by those that are close to you, those that you trust and you love, and you think that they are looking for your best. But
Mm,
in the end, a lot of times, it's just life.
yeah. Yeah. Now, I understand that infidelity happened.
Yeah,
I got it. It does. I'm not criticizing the person for doing what they did because it does happen. We're human. We all falter. We all make mistakes, right? But
yes.
the lies, that's where I kind of draw the line with being a pastor in the church and actually having a congregation believe
Hmm.
that you are who you say you are when you aren't.
Yes.
Let's go back in time a little bit before you wrote this book. Were you happy at your congregation?
Yes, I was happy, very happy with my congregation. Everything was going smooth. I thought everything was going, great. And next thing I know, it's like a bombshell.
Mm, mm. Now, the bombshell. I want to talk about that real quick because I know the result is the book, but the bombshell. What did that do to did it shake your faith? Because a lot of people don't realize that, of course, we're all human. We all make
Yeah.
mistakes, even the pastor. Okay. But did it shake your faith? Did it shake your family's faith? What did
Uh,
it do as a result of the infidelity?
well, it really shook. It didn't shake my faith because my faith was trusting Jesus. I was like, Lord, but why it happened to
Mm,
me? Why my church? Why, why?
mm,
And I saw the red flags, but sometimes you ignore that and you
yeah.
just put it off. You put it off, and you're
Mhm,
like, and the Lord's showing you the whole time, and you're like, okay, Lord, no, that can't be true. No, Lord, it's not
mm,
true. And then once it really hits at home and you find out that it's true, then that's when you really, you're out of it. Then
mm,
you're out of it. It's like you have to say am I dreaming, or is this real? Is am I living this out, or what's going on? It's
Mm,
like your whole life is just dumped. I mean, you just dump. You don't know where to go from there.
wow. So how do you think that the current understanding of sex in the church contrasts with the reality of sexual behavior in the world today?
Uh, as I was saying, sexual behavior in the world, it first starts in the church.
Mm,
The church has the guidelines. Jesus drew guidelines thousands of years ago, and he knew, that men were. That's why he tell you, if you look at a woman in lust,
mm-hmm.
you start committing adultery in your heart.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you have the people on the job, and the book deals with sex in the church, but also in the world, like you said, the workplace,
Mm-hmm.
wherever after you're seeing somebody every day, and then you start getting comfortable with each other. Next thing you know, y'all going out to dinner. Next thing you know, you're going out to other places. Next thing you know, there's a relationship.
Yeah.
Because that's a buddy, feel good. I'm better than, I can, this is person, I'm having more fun with this person than I am my own mate.
Mm-mm-mm. All that new stuff.
That new stuff. That's
That
it.
new stuff.
That
That's that
that's
new
it.
stuff right there. That's
That's
that
it.
new stuff.
And they say you have to keep a fire in your marriage, and you keep a fire in your marriage, but like say temptation is out there. That's a temptation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what a lot of pastors deal with daily. I was just listening to the thing with Noel Jones.
Mm-mm.
And this morning, and it blew me when he says that they said the women were weeping and crying at his wedding
Mm.
because, and one lady said she couldn't sit on the front row because women sit on the front row and without their undergarments.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I'm in the back.
yeah,
That's why I sat in the back.
and that's happens in the church, and we have to
It
understand
does.
that the church is not a perfect place because
No, it's
we all are imperfect. We all had those lives before we got in the church.
not. Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that once you get delivered, you know, you should be different. It should be different. You should make your every move to not fall in that same category, that same stuff that you fall back in your own mess
Yeah.
used to be in other words.
Yeah. There's so much misunderstanding about the church, but the
Yeah.
the basic principle is, yeah, if you see a woman and you're married, you're lusting after her, you
Yes.
have committed adultery already in your heart.
Yeah.
Um, and it's hard because you have these women that aren't really following
Yeah.
Jesus or in the Messianic Yeshua, but they're following the cute pastor, the guy that
Yeah.
looks so good and he's got power,
Yeah.
and look at him. He's people listen to him and they go after their own lust. It's hard to, I guess, maybe for a pastor, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just this is more of a question. It is a statement,
Hmm.
and maybe I should phrase it that way. Is it hard for a pastor or someone? I mean, just think of yourself, think of someone to correct on the spot the behavior of some women. If that were to happen, what would happen with the church? What do you think?
Uh, you can correct uh, behavior, and a lot of times that's why it's so good to have the first ladies, the wives around, because they correct a lot of the behavior
Mm-hmm.
and they keep a lot off of my dad told me before. I said, uh, told my ex-wife that
Mm-hmm.
you stay around, stay close to him, then you'll keep the uh, what do you call it? He called it something else, but you keep the women off of you. Basically, what he was saying,
Yeah. Yeah.
that their presence makes a difference. That
Mm-hmm.
she's there too close to where you can't get, and but then, not. I mean, they're gonna try. They don't care.
They will. They
they
will. I've
they don't
seen
care.
it.
Like you were saying, they don't care.
Yeah, I've seen it. I'm actually an ordained pastor, and I had
Okay.
one lady come up to me talking
Yeah.
about, I know you want my husband. I was like, what? Yeah. Hmm? I do not want your husband. I have a husband. He's standing next to me. You see my husband? He was always with me. My husband was always with me. There was
Uh-huh.
no infidelity. I've been with my husband since I was 17 years old. I've been attacked because women think I want their man. I don't want your man. I
Yeah.
don't want your man. I got enough man right here to deal with. don't want a second one. You know,
And see, and see,
it's ridiculous.
and sometimes the problem is that their insecurity.
Yeah.
And you might not believe this, but one time my dad told me, because he was a pastor a long time for me, and he said, a lot of times the women choose the woman for the man, for the pastor. I'm like, what?
What?
Well, I see the way Sister So and so is looking at you. She just get her eyes look at you all the time, and the guy don't even know if he's loose. Then he'll take all those cues and go with it. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That
Yeah.
is absolutely crazy.
But just like they're coming at you, then now it's like, uh, then your husband has an eye for you. My husband has an eye for you.
Mm.
Basically, that's what happened. And even in my book, like I talk about David, David looked too long. That look, you don't
Yes,
even
he
have
did.
the look. It's the look.
Mm-hmm.
It's the look that we deal with
Yep.
now. Look, and that they give you all kinds of looks and all kinds of uh, eyes and batting and everything and all these things that you just have to be strong and ignore, be able to ignore those the
Mm-hmm.
temptations.
I think it's the new stuff. It's the new journey. It's
Oh
that
yes,
newness, that newlywed period between a relationship that really gets a person, and all of a sudden when they get past that, they realize what they've done.
yeah.
Um, I preferably don't like the newlywed period, so I'd rather not get involved. I
That's the
actually
6 months of eating them up, and then 6 months you wish you didn't.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like that period. I don't like the newness of things. I think people are deceptive. I think people lie to
Yeah,
make you believe what they want you to believe about them. And so I was never tempted with that. What can parents do? Because I do believe it starts with the parents and the children being raised first, because they're seeing this. These kids are not blind.
they're not blind. And
They're
see,
not blind. They see this. The young men, 14 and
yes,
15, they're looking. They're
yeah.
looking. They see this. What can a parent do?
Um, See, basically, the children will know first.
Mm-hmm.
They will know first. They will know before others because they're watching everything. They
Yeah.
see because they're mimicking. They want to be perfect like their parents are perfect in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And they will watch and they'll see and they'll know if mama's not doing right, if daddy's not doing right. They'll probably look at them, give them the look, or try to, get in between the person and them and do different things because children are trying to keep everything pure. They want it pure because the Bible says that if you don't come like a little child, you have to
Mm-hmm.
come as a little child. So
Yeah.
children know the right things and they want it done right. And
Mm-hmm.
they don't want that's my mama. That's my
Mm-hmm.
daddy.
Yeah.
She belongs to my daddy and not
Yeah.
you. Don't look at her.
Yeah.
And nowadays we're living day got with little kids will tell you, they will tell you off. They will tell you about their mama,
They
about their
will.
dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh
We're in a
yeah.
different generation. Yes.
Mm-hmm. What if a pastor is up on the pulpit? He's up on the stage. He's up there. He's preaching. And all of a sudden, he turns. He sees this young lady
Hmm.
or an older lady with no underwear on, opening her legs, and he right then and there, rebukes her. What do
Hmm.
you think that'll happen if every pastor follows suit? What do you think will happen?
Well, it's like the main thing is that you have to probably have your entourage or whoever your people are to ask the person. It happened in a service. Let me tell you what happened in a service. It happened.
Oh,
I
come
was in a
on, yeah,
service
come on.
and my cousin, it was my cousin, he was getting ready to preach.
Oh,
And my sister is a female pastor as well. So she was there. She was down on the pulpit. And then there were other ones beside her. And then he was doing this. And she said, I seen him doing this. He kept turning his head. He kept turning. And then finally, he whispered, he said, we go tell that sister to close her legs. Yes. That's how he was. He was openly rebuked. He would openly, he said, we go, please go tell her. Yes. And not saying that she didn't have undergarments on. It was just
yeah.
the what he was trying to get focused and he could not focus for
Mm,
the temptation. And he knew that he had a word for the people. And that's the devil's job. The enemy's job is to get you off the word.
that's
So
right.
that word will not go out to those people that need
Mm,
healing and need deliverance. And that's what the main thing. They really don't want the preacher. He's not that good looking. He's not all that. To them, he is, but it's the spirit that he has. And like you said, the power, the control. They want to be
Yeah.
first lady. Uh, I have a story in my book about the first lady anyway, but they want to be first lady, and they'll do anything, even I don't want to get to tell you too much about the book, but even go to
Yeah, don't get too much, but
yeah,
yeah, I get it. I get it. Wow, that you know what? I commend him for doing that because maybe it wasn't a temptation for him. Maybe it was a distraction,
it was a
or
distraction.
maybe it was the fact that he could see it, that the kids could see it, and this is not good for the young men that are sitting there, like the 14 and 15-year-olds that are going through
Yes,
puberty. This is not. Can you please tell her to close her legs?
yes,
Because maybe it wasn't bothering him too much, as it was the fact that she was doing it was bothering the whole situation in
yeah.
itself, and
Well,
he just didn't
it was
want to.
bothering him.
Oh my gosh,
It
no.
was bothering him because he was trying to
Mm-mm.
get to where he couldn't look that way and trying to, and then finally come to the place to where it's just, he was like, I had enough.
Yeah.
Rebuke it, like you say, rebuke it,
Yeah, rebuke it. I
and
say rebuke it. I say
yeah,
call it out. I say, young ladies and women in the congregation, if you want to wear a dress, a skirt, make it below the knees, please.
yeah,
So when you
in our
sit
church,
down,
yeah,
you're not spreading germs everywhere.
yeah,
Just
and
put it
our
that way.
church, the Church of God in Christ. Some of our mothers in our church, some of the people in our churches, they will put a blanket on you, give you a
Yes.
napkin, give you a towel, put it
Yes.
on you,
Yes.
and they know you're on the front row. They will go ahead and do that and take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's rebuke. That's what I love about our church, Church of God in
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that every church does this,
No, they don't.
but from the beginning, I've been in the church over 41 years, been pastoring. Well, this is my 41st year. 41st. I started when I was
Congratulations.
18. Yes, I started pastoring when I was 18, and I've been all over the world, all over the country, and it's the same everywhere. And you have to understand that temptation is not. I mean, it's not sin, but yielding to it is sin.
It definitely
So
is.
that's why when they see the tempter, the ladies, they're boom, protecting their pastor, protecting their people. A lot of times you have those women that protect you.
Mm-hmm.
They'll
Yeah.
protect. They protect.
Yeah, you definitely have to do that. I absolutely commend you for doing this and for writing that book because we do need to bring that out and we do need to point that out. When I was in the church, I hated skirts, but every time I wore a skirt, it was always ankle length,
Yes.
always all the way down to the floor. I came from a church Baptist in Chicago where my godmother used to take me, and you used to put the doilies on your head.
Mhm.
And if you sat in the front, they had covers for you. If
Yes.
you didn't have a long dress or skirt,
Mhm.
I used to wear pants that weren't tight fitting, like really loose pants, nice little
Mhm.
jacket. You know what I mean? Cover everything
Yes.
up. I'm I have to wear a shirt that comes up to here. I have to. I'm not comfortable anyway else. I don't like being a distraction. I want to
Yeah.
get through that moment that I want to hear what you have to say. I want to
Yeah.
hear it. And I don't want to distract you or anyone else, especially the kids going through puberty. Those
Yes.
are young
Yes.
boys, they cannot
They
focus.
they forget the young boys, and the young
They
boys have
do.
a hard time.
They do.
And we just like, well, it's not happening. They're just young. They're just boys. They're just doing it.
No,
No,
no.
they have a hard time. And uh, after I wrote this book, it seemed like every teacher in this area, Texas, look, not every teacher, but it's like every week there's a teacher getting caught with a 14-year-old boy, mostly
I,
middle school,
I
mostly middle
know.
school,
I
14,
heard.
13, 12, all over the place. And they're saying stuff and being impregnated by them, 14 and 12-year-olds. And the other day it was a 6-year-old boy in the car. I'm like, what? I mean, it is getting sick. That's why I say sex in the church need to be taught. Absence. These young boys, young kids, they're
Mm-mm.
being abused. They're been, been fun, been just mis. I mean, it's just sad because the sexual appetite for people have just went off, off the charts,
Oh yeah. Oh
off the
yeah.
chart.
I agree with you.
So there has to be
Definitely
the church has to stand up and
yeah.
they have to get right. They got to get it
Yeah.
first. You got to get
Yeah.
first. Judgment starts in the house of God,
That's
and and like I said, a lot of times people get away with stuff. I've even talked to ladies that have you know, we're facing divorce, and come to find out that they were secretly, going with him before while he was married to somebody else. So what makes you think that, you know, that you're going to get away with it? That because he's going with you now and you took him from somebody else. And that's another thing that people don't understand, that, you know, it's a commitment, a life commitment. And the only way Jesus said we could dismiss is through sexual uh, uh, misconduct. In other words, um, adultery. That's
Yeah,
the only way that, and then that, and it kills. I mean, it breaks. It's a tearing apart, ripping away of the heart.
it is.
It's
I
where
agree.
it rips away. Because a woman, you're never devastated. When people, you're so devastated when people even stay there and they stay in that relationship. Many times they're crying, they're hurting, and they're just there. They're
Mm-hmm.
just there. They don't know what to do. They want to stay there for the children. Like many people stay for the children, and then when the
Yeah.
children's gone, boom, they're out of there.
Mm-hmm.
That's their thing to go, because, and they're treated bad because it's like, I'm still here, and I'm treating him bad now because I'm mad, but I'm still in a relationship.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, I understand hormonal issues and differences in hormones as you get older as a woman. Menopause kind of
Yeah,
changes your whole outlook on things. But if you love that person, you'll work it out.
yeah,
You know, so women do change, and we don't put up with much when we get older. We get a little bit meaner,
yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah,
but it's not because we don't love the person. It's because we are coming into, okay, now I just want to do what I want to do for me, because I've been ignoring me all this time, and I can't believe
yes,
that I've been
yes,
ignoring me all this time. And I
yes,
think that that is another mindset of the women that are sitting in the front pew thinking, I'm going to get mine.
yeah. And see, and that's what a pastor wife. She was like, "Well, you need to write a book about, for pastor wives." She was
Mm,
like, "They don't know what we go through. These women are always, chasing our husband. After I call them midnight hour, call them time, one come over to pray for them, and all these different things, and they're dealing with all this trauma. And then, they share the pastor with the whole church, and many times he's got more work to do with the church and the thing than they get left out. So she was like, "You
hmm
need to write about these pastors so they don't
I
forget
agree.
that they are married, and they have a wife, and they need to."
Yeah.
And
Leave
I
this,
find
leave this
myself
man
sometimes,
alone.
yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
have days, my wife, she's like, you're working, you're a teacher, you're a preacher, you're a teacher, and you officiate basketball games, you do this, and she's like, sometimes I just need you to be home.
Mhm.
And
I
I don't go to church as I did. I don't mean I used to go to church look every night
mm,
through the week, but like you said, a lot of people were raised like that.
yeah.
And the thing is that you don't have to go to church every day.
No, you don't. No.
But you do need the word of God every daily. You do need your Bible, your time, and all that.
Mhm.
And that is what keeps you. And like I said, the book. Every pastor needs a copy of this book.
Yeah, I agree.
Every pastor needs a
And there
copy
is
of
a
this book.
QR code in the top corner over there. If you're watching and you have your phone out, there's an Amazon link there for the QR code. And also in the description box, there will be the link in the description box so that it'll be easy for you guys to find this book on Amazon. You can also just go to Amazon in the search bar and put Sex in the Church, Johnny Baker, and you will find it as well. And yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, stay away from the new stuff.
Oh yeah,
Stay away from
yeah.
that
What
new
about these?
stuff.
What about now? You're talking about the women and hormones. These older women
Oof.
now.
Oh
They
yeah,
have they have they're going bug wild.
they are.
They're
What is
buck
up with
wild.
that?
The old women. I'm talking older, older. I'm like, what has happened?
I don't
The
know.
grannies are
They
not
got,
grannies.
no, they
They
are
refuse to be
not.
grannies.
They are not. They are. They are. How can I say this in a nice way? So your book says sex. They are after that,
Yes.
and then some. Even more than the young kids. Like
Yes.
these older men can't even keep up with some of these older women. They have to just pass the buck down because that's just not going to happen. It's
Yeah.
like, what is going on? Well, we got more, and I have to say this in all honesty, there is more HRTs going out now. There's more understanding of the women's bodies now and what happens. And
Hmm.
sometimes the side effects of some of the HRTs, which is hormone replacement therapy,
Yes, yes,
um, can bring on the desire to, um, yeah, every
yeah,
day,
yeah.
every day,
Because
every
yeah,
day,
yeah,
just every day, and you don't know what's going on with you, but you want that every day. And that's not something that's normal, but that is a side effect. And it doesn't happen to everybody, but it does happen to some women.
yeah,
Um, it's just, but if you take that away from the woman, and then she begins to die slowly.
yeah,
Um, and so what do? There is no middle ground. There is the Bible, there is prayer, there is understanding and
hmm
knowing your situation and knowing who's around you and respect. I think respect has gone down and its
yeah.
value. Oh
Oh
wow,
yes,
it's going down.
yes. Respect.
Okay. Yeah, respect for other people's husbands and wives,
And
because I
wives.
know that there are
Correct.
men out there that are trying to go for the pastor's wife too.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's that's a big one. Well, you learn your lesson as a pastor. You learn your lesson that you go put all the courage in your own relationship,
Hmm.
because most pastor wives, like I have a beautiful wife. My wife, she was a supermodel basically, and I tell her I'm sticking close. She's like, "Well, you trying to hide me out? You keep look. I'm not gonna get bit twice.
I hear that.
I'm
I
gonna
hear
get first time it's not my fault. The second time it's my fault. Yes.
that.
So I'm gonna make sure.
But I'm
Yes.
glad. I'm glad you wrote this book. I'm glad that we talk about it, because this is not something that no one knows about. A lot of people are turned off of the church because of it, and they don't want to go back because they've been hurt.
Yeah.
But this book will bring to light that there are people in the church, not like robots. There
Yeah.
are people in church. What kind of advice can you give to someone when they are going through this situation?
Uh, if you're going through this issue that you need somebody that's not connected with that circle outside to let them know what's going on in your life, what's going on. Even and that person will tell you that's not right. They'll let you
Mhm.
know. A friend outside of the church. Um, it's good to tell the people in church, but like we say, sometimes church people we cover stuff up. And the Bible says if you cover it up, God's bring to open shame. That's why a lot of these times when it does happen, like we've seen the big mega churches, we see these pastors fall. We've seen the pastors, just falling by the wayside. We've seen sexual perversion, sexual misconduct, and all of the big megas, and we see it all over the world. And that's
Yeah.
why I wrote this. Once I wrote this book, it seemed like they started dropping like flies. It was like every week it was like I'm like this one off, that one, what, and then they
Wow.
start coming. But God is doing an uncovering so they can get their lives right.
Yeah.
He's uncovering. See, 2025 was a year of uncovering, and this 2026 is a year of the fix. So it's time to fix your spirit. Get the book, get the understanding what God says about sex and the things that you need to do to keep yourself
Mm.
from these different issues and things. And our churches are getting sued. All churches are getting sued. All churches are getting
Wow.
sued. You remember the Catholic Church had a big suit, and all other churches are getting sued by people when these things happen. And as you know, there's some in the news. I don't need to name any names, but a famous musician. I mean, a songwriter or a uh, songster. He's a preacher as well. He's in the news right now, and it's always going to be there because
Yeah.
we're dealing with sex. And what we did is we, as people, men, women, we took sex and we abused it. We didn't keep it where God says it, and we add so much stuff to it. We do all this extra, like you said earlier, all this extra new stuff,
New
it,
stuff.
and it throws people out there, far out,
Yeah,
and it's a mind thing. It's all about the mind.
definitely. Don't get intertwined with the new stuff. The new stuff ain't really
No,
new, it's old.
yeah,
It's just refurbished and it's spray painted. Just stay
yes,
away from it.
stay away from it. Really,
Just
you're
stay
so
away
right.
from the new stuff.
Yeah,
I thank you so much, Johnny, for being on the show. It's just been a pleasure having you. Where can people find your book? I mean, where can they go besides Amazon? Because we already know about Amazon, but do you have other places that your book is published on?
yes, it's be in Barnes and Nobles, which is my publisher, be in Barnes and Nobles. Amazon is running a special right now, so they can get it for less than a hamburger.
Mm,
And maybe that's maybe everybody go get their pastor a copy and put it in their hands. Let them know, as a pastor, this is called Sex in the Church, and it deals with the sexuality of each person in the church and their people. And also scripture that the last days that you talk about the young people, boys and girls. He said the sons and daughters shall prophesy. But the sons don't know their sons and they think they're daughters, and the daughters think they're sons. They're confused. Well, that's what happens with the young generation. They're confused and they're trying it, and they're getting confused, and the older people are confusing them as well. So it's a messed up world. So
yeah,
we're just gonna have to pray that we maintain until Jesus returns.
that's right. Well, thank you so much, Johnny, for being on the show. I appreciate it. And I hope this has helped you guys to understand that, we're people in the church, and
Yes,
people we have things that we have to get over. We have things that we have to have healed, corrected, rebuked, and sometimes it'll happen right then and there. And
yes,
if that's something that you have to work on, I do suggest not sitting in the front row, kind of go to the middle of the back row
yes, of
and kind
course.
of correct it, and then when you see it, you'll be happier about yourself for respecting the relationship that took so long for the pastor and his wife to actually work on, as well as continue to work on, because again, whoever the pastor is in that congregation has a very big responsibility.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Johnny.
you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you, and thank you guys. Don't forget it's Sex in the Church by Johnny Baker. You can get that on Barnes and Nobles as well as Amazon. We do have the QR code in the corner, so that way it's easy for you guys to find it. But if you can't find it in the QR corner because you are actually on your phone, then we will put it in the description below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and don't forget to dare to be different and be good. Just be good.
Thank you.
Come on. Women's talk with Yaya Diamond. Turn it up, let's ride it. Stories made of thunder, heart and soul. Women's talk with Yaya Diamond. Feel that power rising. Every word is gold. Let the good times roll.
Thank you for watching.